Welcome everyone to another Monday morning meeting with TeleHealth today. My name is James Hongs. I am the founder of TeleHealth today. And today we have a special life coach, Miss Michaela Nowak, who does trauma therapy, depression counseling, life coaching, been doing this for a while. Lots of experience. I'm going to let her teach you about what you can expect from her, what she can do for you, and how she's helped others and could maybe help people like you. As always, you can find her on the TeleHealth Today website. And without further ado, I introduce you, Michaela. The stage is yours. Take it away. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much, James. Thank you that I can be here on TeleHealth. I'm very happy, and I'm happy, yes, to share something today that is very important for all of us. And that's our software, so to speak, our mind, our brain. So one of my favorite, historian doctor was Hippocrates, and he once said, "You are what you eat." And at the same time, we can also say we are what we think. So even Henry Ford once said that I really like that quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So everything that starts in here within our mind, our thoughts, that's actually what brings us the motivation in order to do things in our behavior. So why is it so important, our mental health? Right thinking can defeat depression and anxiety, and the mind, the body are intimately related in effect to each other. So imagine you have a stomach ache, you might not feel mentally either that well, or something happened, you're very sad about a situation, or even depressed about a situation, or you suffer a loss, you eventually will feel it in your body. You get a headache, you get a stomach ache, you will feel various symptoms if you don't feel well mentally. And so if you don't feel well physically, it also will affect your mind. So most of our common diseases originate in our mind. And happiness and health depend upon the harmonious development of the physical, mental, and spiritual dimensions of a person. So that is one. Yeah, that's why when I talk to people, I always tell them your body is one, either mentally, physically, and spiritually, and you cannot separate it. So if one suffers, the other will suffer as well. So that's why it's so important that we think about our mental well-being and upon what we ponder upon our thoughts, everyday thoughts. And we all need to work on it because we all come with distorted thoughts. So, and that's why we need to know our emotions and our emotional intelligence, we call it. Yeah, I don't know if you know people who are very smart, but they can just, they are not very, comfortable among people. They just don't know how to talk with people, to communicate well, but they're very smart. So emotional intelligence is one of the points that it's not necessarily inherited, but you can work on it. And that's the good news. So even when your IQ is very high, studies have shown that people that are very successful in life, they have a high emotional intelligence. And so that's why it's very important that we work on those things and improve it. So we need to understand our emotions. And how do we do this? We can, learn it, and within our own effort and our own, decision that we make to work on it, we will improve eventually. So emotional intelligence, what is that? It is the ability to manage both our own emotions and to understand the emotions of people around us. Emotional intelligence is learned rather than inherited, and it can be improved, as I said. So that's wonderful, good news for everyone who says, oh, I'm not good with that. I'm not good with people. I can't communicate. It's very hard for me. You can improve. You can. And therefore, we have counselors. Therefore, we do cognitive behavioral therapy in order to improve emotional intelligence. And there are basically 4 key components of this. Yeah, we have here the self-awareness, the self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. Self-awareness, to recognize our own emotions, to know why am I feeling that way. For example, you're cut off in traffic and you get angry, So, just to know why am I feeling this way, recognize your own thoughts, and learning to be aware of those emotions when a situation comes up, when a person comes in, why do you feel that way? Then the self-management, manage our own emotions in a healthy way, because feelings come quickly, but self-control is here the essence of it, and to learn how to control our emotions. Then another point is social awareness, understand the emotions, the needs and concern of others, identify them, diagnose them is very important, even in people in leadership positions, to know how are my co-workers doing, how can I improve work environment and teamwork, even within the family, even within, wherever you are. Social awareness, very important, and you can work on this as well. Relationship management, develop and maintain good and healthy relationship. It's also called social intelligence, building bonds. And that leads eventually to our motivation, because if we have high emotional intelligence, we will be very happy, optimistic, motivated people, and that will help us to be more successful, not only in work, but within our own family, within our environment. That what you would like to portray. Factors that affect our emotional intelligence, of course, are genetics, childhood experiences, lifestyle factors, emotional support, and the very most important, our thoughts. So people come to me, like even I experienced traumatic situations during my childhood, that almost led me to commit suicide. But I can change, through reprogram, to rewire my own brain, because it's my responsibility to think. And when negative thoughts come, or self-pity, or whatever you name it, you have the ability to change those thoughts and these patterns, and form new patterns that will help you in life to be successful and actually be happy and actually overcome even bitterness. Because when somebody hurts you or somebody attacks you, of course you will feel resentment and bitterness, and feelings come up, and you might want to avoid that person. But if you learn to rewire all this, and through cognitive behavioral therapy, yes, you can become a fully functional, happy person. So there's good news for everyone out there. There's always hope, and we can always rewire our brains, our thoughts. So can you yourself think of a situation where you tend to ignore what you're feeling? Or what is about a personal situation that elicits your response? A person that hurt you at work, or a family member that was mean to you. What do you feel when you think about that person, when you hear the name of that person, when that person comes into the room? So the decision is upon you, what you do with it. Because eventually negative thoughts will destroy us and lead to depression and anxiety. and other mental disorders. So these thoughts are important. And why are they important? So we have to watch our thoughts. A thought is a cognition, a perception. Our cognitions are the way in which you think about things or at any moment. And these thoughts have a significant impact on how you feel, and which will eventually impact our behavior. So what you think will eventually come out of your mouth, and eventually it will become your behavior. So if we change our thoughts, you will naturally change your emotions and behaviors, and that's good news. But it's also our responsibility, and I really like what Mahatma Gandhi said, keep your thoughts positive, because your thoughts become your words become your behavior habits, and habits your values. And yeah, once I met a person that was sexually abused for many years by her father, but she was so positive and so happy. And she said to me, this person, my father, stole many years, but the future he won't steal. I will make the best out of that, what I still have. So we have time, and the time we have, maybe, yes, our parents may be messed up, but still you have time, and the future awaits you, and the time is beautiful. The future is beautiful, and you can do so much with it. So that's why we should not lose time by pondering upon negative thoughts, negative experiences, but look at the bright side of life and really make that effort, take that decision, and change our thinking patterns. So I encourage every one of you, there's always hope. It's never too late. And everything negative that you experience in life, you can brighten up someone else's life, and that is the beautiful thing about therapy, about knowing about this. So within life, we develop, as I said, wrong thinking patterns. And we have wrong thinking patterns, and some of them are listed here. So here's an example for a false thinking pattern, like all or nothing. There are people who say I'm right and there's no other way. Or, your boss says something to you and you just think you're a failure or whatever. And most of those negative thinking come because of past traumatic experience, when parents say, oh, you're not good enough, you'll not make it, and all those things, then these triggers, of course, when you're at work and your boss tells you, this was not so good, then it can trigger one of those emotions. Or over generalization. There's one single negative event and you just ponder upon those things. Or a mental filter that you focus only on those negative aspects and forgot all about the good. Jumping to conclusions, you interpret things negatively when there are no facts or no support to your conclusion. Then you also have magnification, that you exaggerate the importance of your problems and shortcomings, or you minimize the importance of your desirable qualities. Then there is emotional reasoning. You just rely on your feelings and assume that your negative emotions reflect the things the way they really are. Most of the time you tell yourself like you feel guilty or you're scared of flying, and that's why they come up emotions, and you just rely on your feelings, which is also very wrong. Personalization, you take things personal, you feel ashamed or guilty. For example, I met mothers who were beaten by the husbands, and they told me, maybe I was not a good wife, maybe I didn't do that or this good enough. So that's personalization. or mind reading. Many people think they know what the other person thinks. I mean, that's totally not that's not possible. So you can't predict what the other people thinks or be a fortune teller. Yeah, sometimes a colleague or a neighbor doesn't greet you and you just think, oh, he's mad at you. So that's a wrong thinking pattern. So we all unfortunately have those wrong thinking patterns and we all need to work on those. And that's why it's important that we are aware of those and that we reconstruct them. And therefore, I'm so happy to see results in my own life, what has been improved so far, and seeing it in other people's life. So our brain is amazing. Even our body, like when we change our eating habits, when we do more exercise, we see differences within our body. So it's also our mind. The human being is amazing. And so it's amazing that we can change. And even when we see people, I've been to prisons and I've talked to people who, did terrible crimes, but even they can change. Everybody can change. So cognitive behavior therapy. First of all, we have to listen, identify our thoughts. So what comes to mind when I experience an emotion? What thoughts do I have when the situation upsets me? Yeah, we need to ask those questions ourselves. And then look for distortions in your thoughts, as we mentioned them. Are my feelings and thoughts and expectations realistic? Is there another way to look at the situation or problem? Am I making myself upset about something beyond my control? So those are the questions we have to ask ourselves. We have to, check our own thoughts and ponder up on them and revise ourselves. Restructure them. Restructure your stinking thinking, as I'm saying, like to say it. Am I making myself upset about something beyond my control? Sometimes we are upset about a situation that we can't even influence. Yeah. So we need to learn also to let go of certain things that it's not in our own control. And so, it takes time, but step by step, we can learn and we can change these negative thinking patterns. So as with everything in life, we need to practice. Yeah. It doesn't come naturally, easily. We as human beings, we like to ponder more on the negative. Yeah. Like many times I come to a place, either work or with friends, and they tell me, have you heard about that? And they tell me some negative event. And I always tell them, hey, can you not just come up with something funny or something that I can laugh at? Or so we need to learn to be optimistic, to be positive, to it takes work, but therefore it's good to sometimes have therapy in this kind of area, even though maybe you do not suffer from depression or some mental disorder, but most of the times we are stuck in our own negative thinking that we don't even realize it. So I encourage you, today, like, make a choice, make that effort in life to be that positive influence surrounding you, and it will be a reward. It's rewarding and it's healthy to your body. I really like those quotes here from Plato, Aristotle. Plato was the teacher of Aristotle, and Aristotle was the teacher from Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great had a brilliant mind, but unfortunately he died because he was an alcohol addict. So yes, but anyway, they say, these big men, that the first and the best victory is to conquer self. Aristotle said, I count it brave who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies, for the hardest victory is the victory over self. And even the Bible in Proverbs says, better to be a patient than a powerful, better to have self-control than to conquer a city. So with all this said, we need to learn to control ourselves, self-control of our own emotions, over our thoughts. Like when I think of something that is not reasonable, not realistic, not accurate, I need to stop it and I need to rewire. And there are many things that can help us. Yeah. Also classical music, singing, going out to nature, meeting with friends that are optimistic. There are other things, cognitive behavioral therapy, but there is hope for everybody out there. So you're not a hopeless case. Even maybe people told that to you, you're hopeless, you will never change. I think you heard that maybe before. No, that's not true. Everybody can change, and there's hope for everybody to change. Hippocrates also said, we must know that both pleasure and joy, as well as sadness and anger, come from our thoughts. And one of my favorite texts in even the Bible says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are good, of a good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. So basically, it's just here a recipe for us, what to ponder up on. So if the neighbor doesn't greet you in the morning, don't think he's mad at you, but maybe he has some problem and he totally was in his thoughts that he didn't realize you're standing there. So try to take everything out of every situation in an optimistic way. And it will not only help you, but it will help your environment and it will help your relationships. It will help you to benefit in your workplace. And it's always easier said than done, but it's possible and there's hope for everyone. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for your attention. If you want to know more, if you're interested in counseling, coaching, I'm there. And yes, I thank you so much for being here today. And if there are any questions, let me know.
Thank you. That was good. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I have experienced a lot of what you've said, and that was touching. I have a few questions. I'll start with one. You commented on applying some of this knowledge into your own life and seeing a result in your own life. I was wondering what made you research this and then apply that into your own life? Like, was it an event, or did you just wake up and say, I need to make a change and I'm going to study this and apply it? Or what, how did that look? How did that work for you?
Well, I mean, growing up, there were so many terrible traumatic events that I was always kind of naturally an optimistic person, but there came a point in my life where I just thought life is just meaningless. Why all these negative events? And there's no one to help me. So I kind of cried out even to God. I blamed him, like, why did you create me? Why am I here? That doesn't make any sense, just take my life. And then I kind of received deeper insight, like always kind of like a hope, like a still small voice telling me, look at the bright side of life, look at the bright side of life. Later, I came across a Christian family who gave me the Bible, and I started to read the Bible. And that was the point where I started to believe in God. And I started to read the Bible, and I started to read the Psalms and the Proverbs. And that helped me actually to heal and to also think about life, and that my life is not meaningless, that I was created for a purpose. And also, what made me realize is, you know, if I just look at myself and look at those negatives, you can become very easily discouraged and hopeless. But then if you reach out to vulnerable people, that's what I did. I went to different countries and reached out to vulnerable people who experienced the same or even worse, even worse. That kind of gave me sense in my life, wow, life is meaningful, because that what I experienced made me vulnerable to help others and to understand others' problems. And so that helped me to heal also. And now I can speak about my events openly, and it doesn't really affect me anymore. And that is just, for me, the greatest success. And the greatest success for me in life is, yes, you are wonderful, perfectly made by God, and every story matters, no matter if it's negative or positive, because, like as I said on my website, the pearl is created by an irritant, and every life is a pearl, and every irritant in your life can be a blessing to someone else. So that's why we should never give up, never give up. And that hope that comes, deep inside of your heart, that comes from God, it's a gift. So yeah, basically that's my story. I hope I could answer your question.
Yeah, yeah. That was good. Thank you. Um, yeah, no, I have experience. I agree with a lot of that, and that's good, useful information. Um, even my take on like in on forgiveness, even in religion, is not, it's not necessarily to be nice to the person you're forgiving, but to live your life, to get that person out of your life, you have to forgive them, because if you can't, then they're going to be impeding on your thoughts, and just impeding on your thoughts could affect your mood. Whereas
Yeah,
if you forgive them, you can move past them and get them out of your thoughts and out of your life, and
right.
live the life that you deserve. Yeah, no, that's really good. Thank
Mm,
you for sharing everything that you have.
mm.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments or suggestions, anything for us? Wow. Okay. I guess you nailed it. Usually we have a lot more, but I think you did. I think you did pretty good. Yeah. No, it's good. Like, yeah. No, I could tell. You're right. I mean, it's not circumstances that can make us feel good or bad. Circumstances are neutral. It's truly our perception to those circumstances that is gonna
And of
dictate.
course, and as you say, it's not easy. I mean, I have to make that decision every day,
Mhm.
because there come situations that you do not expect. And how do I now respond? And that's my responsibility,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I would add, and I would say the good news is if you're on the right track, I would say it does get easier, because everything you do, the good, the bad, the ugly, it's
Mhm.
all habit forming. So,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And we learn.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Um, Okay, well, actually, here's one more question for you, and this may be a question that I should ask um, all of my practitioners that have a meeting. Um, if someone were to book an appointment with you on telehealth today and say, "Show me the best me," and I see you, Dr. Emo, as soon as I'm done, we'll get to you next. And they say, "Show me the best me," book an appointment with you. Briefly take us through the steps of where are you taking that person? How long is it gonna? And I realize it's gonna vary depending on the individual. What's a ballpark of an ideal client that you're taking from A to B?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically, as you're saying, they're all different. Um, well, I want to get to know the person, and we need to connect, and that's my main point here. I want to be that person's friend. Um, Basically, I don't see them like this client that's calling me. I really see them as a human being that I want that they come out of themselves and become that self, that real person they truly are. Because not everybody believes in you, not everybody has that privilege to grow up with a father, a mother that tell you, well done, that support you, and friends. Well, how many friends are really friends? Count them, you know. So I want to be a friend, a transparent friend that helps that person to become that true self and to experience healing and to become, yeah, to experience true self-worth. And most of those friends that I've experienced, even now that I'm counseling two girls, they're struggling with their self-esteem since childhood. And that takes, some time, but they're happy that there's someone who can relate to them and who encourages them. And I really see their potential. They have so much potential. And most of the times, people don't even see your potential or they don't even want to see it. So I really would like to know these people who come to me. I really would like to see their potential and, you know, that they will develop their potential, eventually do that in life, what they really like, what they really love and enjoy, and makes them happy.
That was a very good answer. I I like that. At telehealth today, I tell people we're promoting lifelong relationships, and yeah, being friends first, coming active listening. Like a lot of that is emotional support and things we do when we answer warm lines and such. That was a great answer. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Yumama, I see you.
Hi,
You have a hi.
hi. It's a really good presentation. I joined late, but I really enjoyed the last part of it. And I do really agree that we have to forgive others just for our own sanity. And I could really feel positive vibes from you. It's really interesting topic. My question is, what do you advise? Do you do marriage counseling as well? Like if a husband and wife newly married and they are not really going along in their relationship, what advice do you have for them, how they can improve their relationship and what could be done regarding that? Is that your specialty as well?
Mhm. Yeah, thank you for asking. Yes, actually, yes, because I've been also through a dark past in that kind of area. And thanks to God, I came out of also not a good relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
when I do counseling, like this kind of counseling, I also first do the individual part because that is very important. I really would like to get to know both of them, like husband and wife. And, because sometimes when they go together to a counseling session, they do not portray themselves who they really are because they would
True.
like to portray somebody else in front of the counselor. So for me, it's very important that I have a transparent being in front of me, and then we can truly help. Then I can truly help. Thank you.
Great. Yeah, it's a really important field these days, since now, especially after COVID, I've seen that the divorce rates are high and relationships are not going good. So
Yeah.
it would be a great help if married couples who have problems could have someone to give them good suggestions.
Yes. And
Thank
somebody,
you.
you need that. And like counseling that will truly help them, not something that is lasting, and sincere, because I've been to counselors that actually kind of triggered the opposite, I can say. And
Yeah.
so I know what I'm talking about. And yeah, definitely.
Sometimes it's just that listening. If somebody else listen, even if you're telling your story, you do realize which points, like where are you lacking and what things you can do to just improve those things. So
Exactly.
having a good listening ear is also one of the solutions to those problems.
Yes,
So
you're right. A good
thank you so
point.
much for the lovely session.
Thank you, Mama.
I see you, Dimitri.
Hi there.
Hi.
Michaela, so first of all, good presentation. Not really a question of mine, but more like a comment. I definitely agree with that last part about having both people present or more than one side. Because I often see this as well, where if I see a patient, at the dialysis clinic, they'll tell me one side of the story, but when I call their significant other, parents, or adult children, there's like another
Right.
piece of the story that's very, very much missing.
Yes.
And some doctors, they're slow at understanding that, but it's very good that you understand that and know the potential of making that part of the treatment plan.
Yes, thank you, Dimitri. Yes, it's very important. Very important. Because sometimes people are scared, sometimes even in a relationship, sometimes one person cannot express themselves that way, and maybe they're suppressed, and the other person can kind of is more dominant in an area. And so sometimes, yeah, it's a very fine line where you have to really connect with that people and really also see, do they really want to be helped? That's also always my question. Like, what is your goal in this? Like, I really want people to make progress. I don't want people just kind of tell me all what's bad, or I want them really to progress in life, and take my hand, and we do this together.
Yes, certainly. And also I can imagine, if not because of feeling repressed, sometimes it's because, one person or one party, maybe they feel like they need to save face, which might be more common in some cultures than others.
Exactly. That's correct. Yes. Very good.
So that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dimitri. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just add, based on Dr. Imama's comment, something that just stuck with my mind. Yesterday, I was watching a YouTube or something, and they popped the ads up, and the ad came up, and before I was able to click, skip the ad, it was, and I don't even know what the product was for, but it said more popular than divorce. I was like, oh my God. Like,
Oh.
really? Is that what they're saying? But you also
We
just
do
gave me.
even have the cakes for divorce, like happily separated, and it's now a whole celebration going on
Yeah.
divorces, which isn't good if we see it in the long run that the family is broken and the
Mhm.
whole generation suffers. So we do really need to do something about it because
Yeah.
it's really important for a family to have both the parents, both the siblings with them. I see children suffering because of those issues in my clinic. They are psychologically disturbed, they feel lonely, and they don't know what to decide whether to be with the mom or the dad. So it's really hard decision for them. So yeah, helping those couples save their marriage would be a great help, I believe.
Mhm.
So you're doing a great job.
And I think that
Thank
is an awesome takeaway from this meeting too. When you find a good life coach with empathy and listening skills like Michaela, and you want a life coach and you're married, bring your wife or your husband if you can. Bring them in, because the more she knows, the more she's going to be able to help you and improve your life. So that's that's good.
Yeah, and she's not gonna take sides. She's gonna listen to both the parties, so you don't have to worry about being in trouble. You know,
Very
she's gonna
important.
listen to both the sides. It's very important.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Any last words?
Well, I really appreciate being here with you guys, and thank you for your comments, your questions, and for receiving me here. And yeah, I'm happy to connect again at any time and connect with you out there. So yes, thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this space with us. It
Yeah,
was
thank you, James.
appreciated.
Yeah. Thanks again.
Thank you, Dimitri. Thank you, Mama.
So much. Have a nice day ahead. Take care, everyone.
Until next week. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.